Enemies to lovers were enemy to lovering. A yearning, groveling man. At first you're like, I want to throat punch all these people, but then eventually you're like, but I literally think that I literally starting to like them. I just love when two characters come together and they're each other's safe place. Ugh, I could cry about it. Listen, listen, listen. It'd be like Paul Revere on his horse. The good books are coming. The good books are coming. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Laurin. I'm a lover of all things books, home, and beauty. Today's video is an exciting one. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 10 books so far of all of 2025. Believe it or not, I have read 70 books. Yes, round of applause. I reached my reading goal. I didn't even realize I put my reading goal as 70, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna reach 70 because last year I think I read 55. So this is officially the most books I've read in a year, and we're not even through 2025 yet. We're almost there, we're more than halfway. Let's get fall and winter coming, thank you. But I'm so excited. This is like a milestone in my reading journey, and I'm just so excited. I hit my goal, and I love that this year I've read the most, but instead of trying to reach a certain goal, I just have been enjoying reading, and I've already hit it a little early. So next year I'm gonna challenge myself a little bit more because it's just kind of fun to keep track of how much we read. But also keep in mind, it doesn't matter how many books you read or how many books you don't read or how you read, whether you listen, whether you have a Kindle, whether you have a physical book. Reading is fun and reading is for you. And yeah, I just want to remind you guys of that. But I'm so excited for today's video because out of 70 books, I'm going to tell you guys my top 10, and this was very, very hard. I got this video idea from Larry Reads. I love her so much. She is one of my comfort creators. I love her vlogs. I love her TikToks. I just love watching her content, and I'm watching all of her old videos because I have to catch up, obviously, and I'm a YouTube girly to my core. I love watching YouTube. I love filming YouTube, and I saw this on her channel, and I was like, what a good idea, because sometimes I feel like I read so many books and I never know how to talk about them with you guys. So I'm stealing this idea from her, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a video like that because that would make it easier for me to break down which books I recommend to you guys and which ones are my top 10. Also, this was very freaking hard, so stick with me because I don't even know how I picked 10. Just know I'm probably gonna film another video on all my 5-star reads or like my God tier reads in 2025. I know that I'll have like some repeats, but the books that I want to talk to you guys about are just too good not to put in another video. But just know for this video, it's just kind of for fun. It's the fact that I'm celebrating 70 books this year, and also I want to tell you guys the 10 that I really, really, really recommend. So this is gonna be a fun video. If you want to know what 10 books I picked out of the 70 that I've read, then keep on watching. Okay, so this was so hard. Also, I want to preface before we even freaking start, I read multiple amazing series. I read the Legacy of God series this year. I was continuing the Empyrean series this year. I also was reading the Boys of Tommen series this year. So there are like my God tier series in this video. So that was really hard, but I made a deal with myself because I wanted to give all these books a fair chance that like if it's a series that I loved and I read multiple books from one series, I just picked one. So no, I loved the other books in the series, but I didn't want to like repeat and just, that would eat up my 10 books if that makes sense. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick one book from the series that like really, really, really made the most of an impact on me. And then when I do my 5-star reads of 2025, that way you guys can kind of like, we'll talk more in depth about like each series and like how they impacted me. And I might just make a video on each specific series that like really like break them down like I did Legacy of Gods. I did it with that. I might do that with the Boys of Tommen and rank them, and then do that with like the Empyrean series, Onyx Storm, that kind of stuff. But just know I'm going to preface that each time I talk about each book. Like I still loved all of these books in these series. I literally feel like I've been so lucky this year. So just know I just made myself pick one from each series because I didn't want it to be repetitive and boring for you guys. And by the way, these are not in order. I'm not listing these in order from like, this is my very, very favorite, this is my very, you know, whatever. These are all in the same playing field. I just picked 10 from the 70. This is already hard for me, you guys. This is already hard for me. I've had a really good reading year. I feel like lately I've been kind of in like a, not slumpy, but a weird funk, but I forget how many good freaking books I've read. So just know that this is not in order. I love all of these books Maybe some more than others, but I just put them all on a list. So the first book I want to talk about, Onyx Storm. And I'm not going to say much. If you guys want a spoiler-ridden vlog, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that hasn't read the Empyrean series. So Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and now Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm came out in January. January 21st was the day my life changed forever, not to be dramatic, but ever since Onyx Storm, and again, not going to spoil anything for anybody. If you have read Onyx Storm and you want to yap about it, I have multiple videos. I think I have 2 videos. I have a reading vlog on Onyx Storm. I'll put the thumbnail right here. And then I also have a let's talk about Onyx Storm. So I'll put that over here. So if you guys want to go hear my thoughts and it's spoiler ridden, then go check those videos out. But I'm not going to give any spoilers just in case someone hasn't read it. But yeah, Onyx Storm changed me forever. And the Empyrean series is one of my favorite freaking series. I'm just so obsessed. And Rebecca Yarros has us in a freaking chokehold. And when I'm reading a big series, I feel like really hits the fan by book 3, and baby, it's been hitting the fan for a hot minute, okay? And a lot of people didn't really like Iron Flame. I feel like a lot of people did like Onyx Storm, but yeah, it wrecked me and it put me in the biggest freaking slump. But thank God I was already reading other books at the time, so I have not stopped thinking about it. Not a day goes by where I literally don't think about Xaden Ryerson, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So Onyx Storm, obsessed. Okay. Next book that is in my top 10. This was very freaking hard, you guys. I told you that I read amazing series this year. I started Zodiac Academy last year in 2024, but like I continued the series through the rest of 2025. This was so hard, okay? All of the Zodiac Academy books are in my top. Like I said, we're gonna do a separate video on my freaking 5 stars and we're gonna talk about it later on. However, I picked one book that was like, they're all my favorite, obviously, and they all wrecked me, but this one I just enjoyed so freaking much. So that's gonna be Cursed Fates by Caroline Peckham and Susanne Valenti. Yeah! It sure is. It sure is. And again, no spoilers. I feel like I need to make a Zodiac Academy video, spoiler ridden. So if you guys have read Zodiac Academy or you're thinking about reading Zodiac Academy, comment down below and be like, hey babe, can you talk about it? Can you give us a video about it? Because I could talk about Zodiac Academy all day, but what I'll say is the enemies to lovers were enemy to lovering. A yearning, groveling man. Yeah, a groveling man who's literally obsessed with a woman and will do anything to get her back. Yes, I'm obsessed. And again, whenever you start out Zodiac Academy, you don't know what couples are what, so I'm not even gonna freaking say anything. But for my Zodiac Academy girls, you know why Cursed Fates was one I wanted to mention. Because again, know all of these, they all wrecked me, they all chewed me up and freaking spit me out, but that was just one of the books I wanted to add in this top 10 list. So yeah, Cursed Fates, Zodiac Academy, freaking everything. I just... the yearning. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. If you guys want a Zodiac Academy video, let me know. The third book in my top 10 is Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. That is the third book in the Devil's Night series. Oh my god. First of all, the Devil's Night series is so good. It's one of those series that I personally feel like gets better and better and better. And my favorite book out of the entire series is gonna be Kill Switch. It's gonna be Damon's book. And what you need to know about Damon is that he is morally gray, almost morally black, to be honest. But I loved getting to know Damon and getting to know his story. I loved his trauma. I loved the way he healed from the things in his past that really affected him as a person, and all of the things he went through. I just really resonated with his character, and I freaking love him so much. And I love him and Winter's love story. I love the FMC and the MMC. It's an amazing book, and I highly recommend the Devil's Night series. Again, no spoilers, but Damon, it follows a group of the 4 horsemen, so an intertwined friend group. They've been friends since high school, and they kind of just like up in their town where they're from. And it's very spooky, very Halloween, always on Devil's Night. So the night before Halloween, they do some hood rat, some crazy and they're always like tearing it up in the town. It's very like bad boy, it's very bully romance, and it's just really freaking good. It's very found family too, and just like any bully romance, at first you're like, I want to throat punch all these people, but then eventually you're like, but I literally think that I would be starting to like them. That's kind of how it is. That's exactly how it is. So I highly recommend the Devil's Night series. Penelope Douglas is one of my favorite freaking authors. I just love the way she writes a messed up mind and a complex character, and I just love the character development. I'm obsessed with it. The spice is there, but it's more about just like, the yearning and the love and the character development for me. It's stunning, it's gorgeous, and it is my favorite book in the Devil's Night series, to be clear, but it had to be in my top 10 list because Damon's book, him showing her the colors. If you know, you know. I'm not even going to get into everything about that book, but you just need to read the Devil's Night series, and yeah, we need to talk about it, bestie. So get on that. That is one of my literal god tier books too, so I had to mention that in this video. The next book on our list, number 4, God of Fury by Rina. You guys, again, this is one of those things where it's like, I loved the entire freaking series of Legacy of Gods. I have my favorites. If you guys want to know what my rankings are and what my favorites are in order, I actually already have a video on that. It is ranking the Legacy of Gods series from my favorite to least favorite, and I kind of explain what each book is about more in depth. So if you want to know more all about the Legacy of Gods series, then go check that video out. But all I'm gonna say is Nico and Bran. I just will never freaking be over it. I'll never be over it. It is Grumpy Sunshine. It is Twisted Demented Golden Retriever MMC. Like, it's an MM romance, by the way. This was my first full MM romance. It got me hooked. It got me hooked in MM romances. There's just, something is just different. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I've been in my MM romance era for a minute. I just can't stop, won't stop, ever. And God of Fury literally healed me in more ways than freaking one. I identify so much with Bran's character, like literally so freaking much. And I'm just so freaking obsessed. I cannot wait to reread that, and I literally just read it. Like, I can't help it. Like, I miss it already. Also the audiobook, oh, stunning. But I just love when two characters come together and they're each other's safe place. And I just love how Nikolai smothered Bran with his love. And again, you guys need to read the Legacy of God series. And if you want to know more about my thoughts on that, go watch my Legacy of God series video. I'm just so freaking obsessed. And again, I love majority of the books in all these series I'm talking about, but if I just had to pick one for my top 10 list, it's gonna be God of Fury. And you don't have to read the entire Legacy of God series to read God of Fury, kind of like these other series. You do have to read them so that you can kind of get the backstory. There are Easter eggs in there, and I highly would recommend reading the entire series because the entire series is gold to me. But Rina Kent did say you can read these as standalone. So if you're gonna pick one, pick that one, but just know you're missing out because the rest of the series is just stunning. It's stunning, it's everything. I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, I had to mention God of Fury. God of Fury literally changed me. It healed me. I boohooed like a baby, and I annotated literally the entire book. Yeah, I sure did. And it healed me in so many freaking ways, and I just will never be over them. They're one of my favorite couples ever. I'm obsessed. Okay, next on our list, number 5, and again, none of these are in order. I'm just like keeping track that I'm on book 5 that I'm talking about. Don't be mad at me. Promise, promise, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. But it's a book from the Boys of Tommen series. And keep in mind, I started the Boys of Tommen series this year, okay? So I've read the entire Boys of Tommen series this year, including, we all know, Releasing 10. If you watch my Releasing 10 vlog, embarrassing, crash out. I crashed out, I crashed out. I was snotting at the nose, I was hyperventilating. It was that serious. And if you haven't read the Boys of Tommen series or Lizzie's book, which is Releasing 10, the one that just came out, I don't want to hear any judgment from you because you need to read it and then you'll be like, okay, valid. She should have probably crashed out more because it was that traumatizing. However, don't be mad at me. I had to pick one book from the series. They're all near and dear to my heart, and I will make a Boys of Tommen video if you guys want me to, kind of like I did about the Legacy of God series. But again, I'm trying to not have repeats in this list. I'm trying to pick one book that I just had the most fun, not even the most fun, but I just had to pick one book from the series, okay? This was very hard. This is trying to pick from like my 2 favorite children. Like, I love both my dogs. I don't have real human children, but I love both my dogs. I can't pick one. Like, it's hard. But I did pick one. And the reason I picked this one is because I resonated the most with this character. I resonate with all of Chloe Walsh's characters, but this is one of my soul characters. I cannot help it. I'm very sorry. Okay, now that I said that, the next book is Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. Okay, listen, guys, listen. I resonated the most with Joey. Releasing 10 crushed me, and Releasing 10 is up there with my God tier books, and Releasing 10 left me in the biggest slump, more than Joey's book, okay? However, I think that Lizzie, because we're gonna get another Lizzie book, we have to. If you read Releasing 10, you freaking know. I think that the next Lizzie book we get will be kind of like Redeeming 6 to me, and I think it'll be just where Redeeming 6 is. So still obsessed with Releasing 10. It literally changed me forever, okay? I still think about it every day, just like Onyx Storm. All these books, I think about at least once a day, okay? So let's just be serious here. But I didn't want to put Two Boys of Tommen on the list, so don't hate me, don't be mad at me. And Joey is literally my soul character. Like, Joey healed something in me as an older freaking sibling. Ugh, I could cry about it, okay? So yeah, if you want to know more about how I feel about Joey and how he resonated with me, then go watch my mental health video because I talk about that. But anyway, books that save my mental health or whatever. I can't remember what I titled it. But yeah, I still love all of the Boys of Tommen. But I just had to put Joey's book in this top 10 list because Redeeming 6, like, I'm not even kidding. I was like, Joey's me and I am him. He is a soul character for me. And yeah, he's everything. I love him so much. And reading about his story, especially if you know somebody that struggled with addiction, oh my God. But yeah, that is another book in a series. All of these are in a series, so I'm just kind of telling you guys, and basically know that all of the books that are in a series, I'm pretty sure all of them are. Yes, they're all in a series. Oh my God. I'm just convincing you to read all these series, okay? None of these are standalones. I just realized. But anyway, yeah. Joey, my baby, and oh my gosh. If you know someone that struggles with addiction, oh, it just hit me right in the feels. Right in the feels, you guys. Okay, next on our list, number 6 is Heartless by Elsie Silver. Listen. Again, this is one of those things. I loved the entire series, but I had to pick one. If I'm picking one, baby, I'm picking Daddy Cade. Yeah. And keep in mind that the Chestnut Springs series was the first cowboy romance I ever freaking read. I am not a yeehaw girly. I love old country music. I love 90s and 2000s, but like, I'm from Kentucky. I don't think I've ever said that on here. I'm from Kentucky. I lived several places. Like when I was younger, majority of my childhood was in Kentucky or in Texas, and then we moved around a lot. So I've been around a cowboy or two. It's just never really been my thing until I read an Elsie Silver book. And baby, yes. You know, all I gotta say is yeehaw. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Elsie changed me forever. I love her writing. I love her characters. I love the way she makes you fall in love with not only the characters, not only the story, but the setting. Like, I just love Elsie Silver's writing. It is such a good time. You can turn your brain off, but at the same time you can feel. It's just, oh, it's so good. And I had to pick Daddy Cade because if you haven't read the Chestnut Spring series, it's feel good, it's Hallmark movie, it's spicy, but it's not too much spice, and there's enough plot. It's just, it's everything. So this is me convincing you to read the Chestnut Spring series. And I have multiple reading vlogs where I'm actually reading the Chestnut Spring series. I literally read it in an entire week. Sure did. I couldn't help it. But if I had to pick one, I'm picking Willa and I'm picking Daddy Cade. Okay? It's gonna be a single dad trope. Single dad and nanny trope. And it sounds basic, but baby, the way Elsie writes her stories, she adds layers to everything. And it's just, like I said, I love her writing. It's stunning, it's gorgeous, it's everything. So go read it. That's an order. But yeah, it's gotta be Heartless by Elsie Silver. The next book on the list, number 7. Are we at number 7? Let me see. Yes, number 7 is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Listen, you guys. Listen. I'm obsessed. This is book 1 in her Fae and Alchemy series. The new book, Brimstone, is coming out, I believe, this fall, and I'm so freaking ready. I'm chomping at the bit. When I tell you, this is another one of those books that I literally annotated the crap out of. This is a romantasy. This is enemies to lovers. The magic in this book, stunning. The creatures in this book, stunning. The world building in this book was a great time because sometimes I feel like world building can be a little meh. The freaking FMC and the MMC Kingfisher, he'd be barking like a freaking dog. Barking like a dog, acting like a feral animal. The mouth on that man, I can't even handle it. Saris, I'm obsessed with her. I had somebody tell me on my Instagram that I looked like Saris, and I was like, hey, I'll literally kiss you on the lips. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's actually very, very, very precious because the way that Callie Hart describes Saris, like Saris, she's stunning to me in my brain because obviously like we have fan art, but we all see her differently. So I was like, thank you. That's actually angelic and precious to say. But yeah, I'm obsessed with Quicksilver. It is such a good romantasy. And you guys, I read Onyx Storm when it came out on release night. So after Onyx Storm chewed me up and spit me out, and then I finished Zodiac Academy, and I had to say goodbye to one of my favorite series ever, I was not in my romantasy bag. So this romantasy, I feel like, you know when you're in a book slump or you're in a can I speak? When you're in a book funk and you're just kind of like, I know that if I read a book that I usually would like right now, but I'm in a funk, I'm not gonna love it as much as I would if I would just be in a good headspace. That's how I am. And when I tell you I was not in a good headspace for romantasy because I was still heartbroken over Zodiac Academy and Onyx Storm, I ate it up. Hey, yeah, I ate it up. Yeah, I devoured it. I literally devoured it, and I'm so freaking obsessed. Callie, Hart, babe. The writing was so much fun. The spice was delicious, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for spice and a good plot. And is the romance aspect heavier in this book? Yes, but I'm sorry, sue me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the little fox Onyx. I love a little furry creature. I just loved everything about this book. So if you haven't read Quicksilver by Callie Hart, you need to get on it because Brimstone's coming out this fall and Callie Hart is everything. Also, the way Kingfisher describes Ceres. You guys need to go to my bookstagram because I talk about him all the time. I'm obsessed with him. The next book on my list, number 8, is Beautiful Venom by Rina Kent. This is the start of a new like universe in the Rinaverse, and I'm so obsessed. And guess what it is, babe? Hockey. It's hockey, 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 hockey. First of all, I know I have 2 Rina books on this list, but they're from different series. Okay, don't come for me. I read my first Rina Kent book this year, and it was God of Malice, and after that, like, I literally would read anything that Rina Kent comes out with. I would read literally anything. I'm so freaking obsessed with her. I love the way her mind works. I love the way her characters are. A lot of people complain and say, oh, all Rina's characters are just like rinse and repeat. She does the same characters. Okay, she has a system. You know what I'm saying? Clearly it's working. Clearly it's working, babe. To me, I don't think that. I think there's differences in a lot of her characters, and I think they're like very diverse, but I also haven't read the whole Rinaverse. She has a lot of freaking books. But this is like, if you want to start, because again, I talked about this in my Legacy of God series, technically, the beginning of the Rinaverse is the Royal Elite series. I started with the Legacy of God series, and then I tried to read the Royal Elite series, and I feel like personally, if I started with the Royal Elite series, I don't know if I would have been super obsessed with Rina at first. I think I would have still liked it, but the Legacy of God's like, I ate it up. And people are like, well, you don't get the stuff in the Easter eggs. Okay, I'll go back and read it. I'll go back and read it and I'll get it. But anyway, this is like a new start to the Rinaverse. That's what she said. So, obsessed with Beautiful Venom. Freaking obsessed. Yes, I am. Beautiful Venom is enemies to lovers. Hey. Secret Society, our main character, our FMC, she go to this college where there's like this secret like fraternity society situation, and she wants to enter in, she wants like a way into the secret society because she thinks they had something to do with something that happened to her sister. So she thinks that Kane Davenport is her way in because he seems like, you know, he's the it boy. He is captain. I believe he's captain of the hockey team. He seems like he's like the safest bet to try to get into the secret society. Little does she know he's freaking psycho. He doesn't feel emotions, okay? He's like a mix of, well, he's a lot like Caden, and he's from Kiss the Villain, and he's a lot like Killian Carson from God of Malice. Anyway, I'm just so obsessed, and it's like a hate-love situation, like a hate to love, but it's just like, it's toxic, it's hot, it's angsty, and it's hockey. And I cannot wait for the rest of the series. I'm so freaking excited. So I had to include it in this list. And I like a morally gray MMC. I love a messed up character, obviously, if you haven't been able to tell. And so this book, if you watch, I have a full reading blog on this book, and I talk a lot more of it, especially with spoilers in that blog. If you want to hear more about this book, go check it out, but just take my word for it and freaking read it because it is stunning and gorgeous and it is everything to me, and I'm so obsessed. And I had the best freaking time, like the best time. I was giggling and kicking my freaking feet the whole time. It's just, you need it in your life. And if you're, again, in a book slump or a book funk, it'll snatch you right out of it. And the next book comes out pretty soon, so I'm so freaking excited. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, our next book on the list, number 9, is King of Greed by Anna Huang. This is from her Kings of Sin series. It was my favorite one of the series so far. I loved the whole series. I had my favorites. I will come out with a video kind of ranking those. If you watch my July reading recap, I talked about majority of these books in my reading recaps, like my monthly reading recaps, and I kind of gave a lot of my thoughts. But King of Greed, a groveling husband who will do anything to make his marriage work. Yeah. Hey, I didn't know I needed that trope, but yeah, I sure did. I love Anna Huang. I read the entire Twisted series and it was such a good time. And Kings of Sin, I don't love as much as the Twisted series because obviously I look at all those books differently, so if I had to pick one, I'm definitely picking King of Greed, because like I literally teared up. I love it. It's so good. The yearning, just the groveling husband that would do anything for his wife, but like he also lets her be her. Oh my god, it's so good, and you guys need to read it. It is everything. And the FMC, the wife in that book, I'm so obsessed with her because she's strong and she did what was hard to do, and she chose herself, because basically they're in this marriage and they've been together for so long through the ups and downs. He's a self-made billionaire and she's been there with him through everything. They fell in love when they were young. They were obsessed with each other. They were soulmates. And throughout his success, he's kind of put their marriage on the back burner, and she's begged him over and over like, hey, let's prioritize our marriage. And one thing leads to another, and she's like, I've had enough. This was my last straw. And so the book is basically about him yearning for her and trying to make his marriage work. But our girl, our FMC, she does what needs to be done and she chooses herself, and I'm not gonna tell you how it ends. You just have to read it and find out. So good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Obsessed. And that trope, I need more of it. So if you have any recs of books that are like King of Greed, if you've read it, put them down below. Give them to me right now. All right, and the last book on our list, again, none of these are in order, but this is number 10, is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. And I'm talking about the first book because I've only read 2 books out of the entire series, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I waited so long. I wanted to see what the hype was about. And let me just say this. I don't know what Jessa Hastings put in the Magnolia Park series, but it's like crack. Baby, it's addicting. It's so freaking addicting and so easy to read. And like, you get so frustrated with these characters. I've talked a little bit about what this book is about in my reading wrap-ups, but it's basically just, everyone's like, the British version of Gossip Girl. Yes, it is that, but the emotions that this series rips out of you is crazy. You're frustrated, you're pissed, you're sad, you're upset, but you also like understand them and you're rooting for them. It's just like watching a group of friends, but the way Jessa Hastings writes their thoughts, the way they feel, their interactions, their memories, the layers to these characters, it makes you feel like it's literally one of your friends. And that's, I think, the reason I really, really love it. And I went in blind. I didn't know anything except it's the British version of Gossip Girl, whatever. And if you like toxicity, like reading about it, I do not like toxicity in real life. Ew, babe, what the heck? But I really, really loved it in this series, and I feel like it just keeps us on our toes. It keeps us on our toes, and it's like, you gotta get past, like, we don't agree with what these characters are doing, okay? Nobody is enabling them and saying, woo, woo, go, do messed up shit. Yeah, no one said that, but it's entertaining. It's entertaining. And I literally read it in like a setting and a half, I wanna say. I read it pretty fast, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, I was so obsessed. And if you want my thoughts on Daisy Hates, go watch my July reading recap because I gave you my thoughts on that. But yeah, I'm still continuing the Magnolia Park series, and I had to add it in my top 10 because it was literally that addicting. And yeah, I had to add it in here. All right, you guys, that wraps up my top 10 books out of the 70 books I read so far. 2025 is not over. We're not just getting started. It's almost over, but it's not over. It's not over yet. There are still many books to read. I feel like I've literally, the beginning of this year started out so freaking strong, but it's like a good and a bad thing when you find books that like crush your soul and spirit and you love them so much, because then you're chasing that high. And I feel like that's kind of the theme for this year. I've read 70 books, 70 plus now, and I love it. Like, I feel like I've read some of the best series and they've been on my TBR forever, like my mental TBR, but it's kind of hard because you get off this like high of the expectations that you set for the rest of the books you read, and then it makes me kind of feel bad because when I read books that I don't want to say are mediocre, but are just like fun and not like my die-hard books, I feel like I'm not giving them a good enough chance because I've had so many highs this year and I've just had a really good reading year. And honestly, I feel like this is obviously, like I said, the most books I've read in an entire year in my life. And really it's because I haven't been trying to meet a reading goal this year. And not that I did that last year. I say this all the time, like, books saved my mental health and they are truly my therapy. Even though I'm an advocate for real therapy, go to real therapy if you need it, ask for help if you need it. But books just, they're everything. Like, they're everything. They're how I decompress. They're my entertainment. Like, I feel like I get my personality from books. I have made so many new friendships from books, and I just have had a really, really good reading year. And I've also had some book slumps, and I've also had some lows, and I've also had some books I don't really love. If you guys want me to upload a video on books that like I haven't really loved, I definitely will. I try not to talk negatively about books that I don't like. Like if I don't like them, I'm just like, that wasn't for me. I don't really want to like draw negative attention to books, but if you guys want me to do like the book tag where it's like, I think people did a mid-year book tag and they'll mention books that like they didn't like, whatever. I just never want to draw like negative attention. And if a book's good to me, even though I know it can probably get repetitive and annoying, I'm gonna keep yapping about it. I'm gonna keep yapping about it. I'm gonna keep spreading the news because you know what? I'm gonna be like Paul Revere on his horse. The good books are coming. The good books are coming. Read these books. Read these books because seriously, that's how I find my recs and all my besties on Bookstagram and TikTok. If you're not following me on both of those, here's my Bookstagram and here's my TikTok. Go follow me because I truly wouldn't have found majority of these books if it wasn't for my besties on my social medias letting me know what books I need to read and what books I need in my life. And a lot of these book series are popular. I do want to start reading more under the radar books, but again, if a series is good and it's talked about, it's because it's good, guys. This was such a fun video to make, and I definitely might still make like ranking my books in 2025 or something, but I've had so many good reads this year that I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to see that video and I'll make it. And let me know if you want to see a video about books I didn't love and why I didn't love them so we can talk about it, because I think as long as it's respectful to the author, then that's totally fine. So I will definitely make one of those if you guys want to see that, or if you want to see a video breaking down one of the series that I talked about and ranking them and explaining them more in depth as far as like the plot or non-spoiler reviews, I will definitely do that. And thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me and just being here. I love freaking YouTube. I love this platform. I love watching YouTube. I love making videos, and I've just had so much fun not only reading but content creating. As always, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!